Hi guys, it's Friday and it's time for a new upload from me, woohoo! Aren't we all excited? Or something, I don't know. I'm pretty excited, I hope you are too. In this video I'm working on making Kostja hollow. As you can see, I have dug out one of my trusty tools and I can't even find a word for it right now. In Swedish it's called a tång. I can't remember the English word, I'm sorry. But it's used to, you know, pick out the styrofoam from inside the doll. Remember the styrofoam shape that I made in the first video? I'll link it down below in case you haven't seen it yet. But yes, at this stage it's pretty much just hollowing him out, making sure everything is out before I start working on the joints and getting like everything set up for that. This part is probably the most tedious and most boring thing of everything in this process of making a doll, but you know, it's needed. You have to do it. You won't be able to escape it, so just sit down and just do it. As you can see, I am really making a mess out of things because that's also part of this process. You will literally look like a snowman at the end of this process, because in a while I will be digging out my trusty dremel and I will start working on the insides of the various doll parts in order to remove excess clay and evening things out, stuff like that, and preparing him for the, like, I don't know, what do you call it, the finer details of the inside hollowness. English is really with me today. Yeah, I'm really making a mess. You should see my studio right now. I really don't go in there unless I really have to, because guys, let's just remember that if you're gonna do something like what I'm doing in this video, really try to be in the outdoors or in a real studio that is not located in your own home, like in your apartment or house or wherever you live, because, or if you have no other place to be, remove everything inside the room that you're gonna be and close the door if you have one, because the mess you make is gonna be epic. And I was a moron and didn't remove my other dolls from inside, so they're kind of like white looking right now because they're like covered in dust. See here, here's the part where I start with the dremel and you can see within seconds there's like a tiny cloud of dust, just and yes, there is a lot of excess clay that needs to be removed from the inside of my doll. So I was at this for like a couple of hours and you're only seeing the beginning of it here because I haven't even gotten to all the parts yet. I did do the hip as you can see right now, and then I move on to the upper torso, and as you can see, the middle, like his belly and everything, is really thick. So I am not looking forward to that, because even though I'm using the Dremel to speed the process up a bit, my hands were aching again, because this, like, the Dremel is a very strong tool. You really need to make sure you're handling it correctly and having a firm grip on it. So my hand was like spasming at the end because I was making sure I gripped onto it kind of tightly, because you know it can actually hurt you or the furniture or the rest of the doll or whatever. So if you're gonna use a Dremel, please be careful with it. It's not a toy, and it can seriously harm your hands or whatever. And don't let it get too hot. By the end of this, if I almost burnt my fingertips touching like the tiny tool at the, what do you call it? At the front of it, like the thing I actually used to dremel inside of the doll, it was so hot that I almost burned my fingertips touching it. So yeah, be careful when using it. It's a good tool though. I would not have like done this as like even half as fast if I hadn't used a dremel. I love it. It's one of the best things I have ever bought. You can do so many cool things with it, like drill and just take off excess clay, open up the joints, or cutting. And there are really a lot of different sets of tools you can get for it as well. You can polish things. So it's a very nifty tool. I really, really recommend getting one. And don't get a cheap one. Just you don't have to get the fanciest one either, but getting one that you feel satisfied with from the beginning is probably a very good idea. I got like, I don't know how much it cost me, but I didn't go for the cheapest one, and I did not go for the most expensive one either. It was somewhere in the middle of everything. And it does its job really well, and I've had it for a few years. I have no idea when I bought it, I don't remember. But it's very good. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm working on the beginning of the shoulder joints. I had a lot of excess clay there because I actually know that I made the styrofoam core a bit too thin. Something that I take with me to the next try, I guess. I still love using the styrofoam as a core, it's really nifty, but I would like to have not made it as thin as I did. Because as you can see, there is a lot of excess clay that needs to be cleaned out from in there. Kind of a waste to me, in a sense, but I don't mind that much. See there? That's a lot of clay right there. I had to build up, like when you don't have a very thick core, you have to build up the doll with more and more clay. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna take with me into my next experiment. Make the core thicker and bigger and try to use as little clay as possible. It makes this process way faster and cutting up the doll way faster. But yeah, he's starting to look like a doll. And by the way, as in the way of his like legs and thighs and stuff like that, and arms too, by the way, they're all really rough at this stage because of the core thing. I realized that I had sculpted the clay on kind of wonkily on his legs, so that's why I made like a conscious decision to not work anymore on his legs at this point and just cut him off, not cut him off, but cut him up and work on the nice, like the finer details and the looks of his legs. That will be a later issue, so that's why they look kind of just really lumpy at this stage. They do have the basic shape down of legs, but they need to be remodeled slightly, but that's okay. It's gonna be fine because now I'm at the part where I think stuff is getting really, really fun. And possibly quite frustrating because joints are difficult to engineer and figure out, but with us it was really entertaining at times. So we'll see. We will see. But that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover, or if you have questions, let me know in the comments. And now I'm gonna take the weekend off. Woohoo! Also, I will be streaming later tonight, so that's gonna be cool. If you want more updates from me, visit my Twitter, by the way. There's a link down below. Anyways, I wish you all a happy Friday, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!